Good morning, everybody. Yes, it's Judy from Artistic Artifacts in Alexandria, and I am back from the other side of the world. I've been gone. I was in Indonesia for almost 3 weeks, and it was a really awesome trip. I'll talk to you about it. And then I just want to thank everybody who covered my Facebook Lives and attended our Facebook Lives. We had some really awesome information going on with those. And if you missed them, we do record them all, and they are on our YouTube channel. So hopefully you will get a chance to breeze through there. So everybody did a really great job. So it was quite nice. It really, it was a good trip, low stress, which is always a plus, and because everybody had it all under control here at the store. It's Memorial Day weekend. I have no clue how it became Memorial Day weekend because I said I was on the other side of the world. And I would like to thank those who really have given their family, their life to serving us. As I travel to other places around the world, Italy, India, Indonesia, I am really grateful for those who protect our freedoms. And I want to thank you for that. And I know directly you serve, your family you serve, it's a big deal. And we do know that, and we do thank you. So that's really what Memorial Day is about. Although we use it as an excuse to have a sale. But like my birthday, we have a sale, the anniversary have a sale. So, we do get a little commercialized with these holidays that are meant to give thanks to humans and people and those who have contributed. But we did partake in having a sale. So I think you got a couple emails this week. We did our normal Wednesday. We did our normal reminder on Monday. And then we sent you a local that talked about the classes. So we get asked, everybody who walks in the door asks about classes. So we do have them. We do have them scheduled. The supply lists and everything are up online. Please, if you have any interest in attending a class, sign up before the week is out. Because 1 week out, we have to decide if we're going to run that class or not. And we need to have a certain minimum. We have to have people in there that make it worthwhile for the teacher to teach the class, to do all the prep and all the organization, because there's a lot of work that goes into creating a class and presenting a class that is done kind of off the books in advance. So 1 week out is when we have to cancel if we do not have our minimums. I know that there's one class, there's a beginning quilting class that, again, we're asked for, and we love to host it. And that is in danger of not running. And it's supposed to start the first week in June. So if you have any interest in that, it's a 4-session, Thursday evenings, taught by Dudley, who gets rave reviews on her quilting classes. So if you're thinking about it, please look at it. You do have to attend all 4 sessions. It doesn't do you any good to just come for 3. Just saying. I have my dye classes up there. I have a very heavy travel schedule this year, as you will find out in a minute. So there's 1 indigo class, 1 dye class per month. They end in August. So those will be the last ones. I will not have any classes in September because I will be teaching in Italy. Yay. So just please be aware of that. The other thing that is on the schedule is that we're trying an experiment. Again, want to be perfectly clear. It's an experiment. So we have the block of the month that is produced by Wonderfill. It's really fun. It's birds, and we are, in addition, so you can buy the block of the month, you can buy the threads, but in addition, we're going to do a get-together, and we'll talk about stitching. We'll answer any questions somebody has. We'll do some demos. Chris and I are team teaching this, and we're going to have it on Zoom. Kyle, right? So that's the first time we've actually ventured into this. So please bring your grace with you and your patience. We will be doing so. If you can come and be in person, please do that. If you're not, we're including you in Zoom for the first time. So please be aware of that. And there is a sign up online for that. And we're looking forward to it because, you know, Wonderful may have put the block of the month together, but who's to say we have to do it the way they told us? That doesn't happen here. We've already done some really cool stuff. Wait until you see what Chris just did. Did you post that yet, Chris? Your bird? Did you put it on? Creative Minds. Facebook, Create Artistic Artifacts. Creative Minds has a private page, Facebook, and Chris posted her really cool little bird that she did. That is part of or from this block of the month.
We're going to have wine in person?
Yeah. Not a lot because I don't want any holes in any fingers.
And the people on Zoom can have
their wine at their house. Yes, their adult beverage of choice. But yeah, so it is you know, a social get together type thing. Okay.
Michelle said yay Zoom.
So. Yeah, Michelle, I know you moved. All right, that sounds great. Okay, so the sale that we have going, we sent out an email very quickly Friday. Again, I was talking about that. We don't normally do this many emails, I promise you, but we didn't want you to miss anything. So we have our collection of K-Facet books are 25% off, which should make us much more price-worthy than Amazon. And we also have these wonderful kits that Julie put together that are by Annie kits. Those are 25% off also. They're wonderful. If I was going to do a by Annie project, that is totally the way I would do it. We put them together for the trunk show. We made enough that we could carry them forward for everybody to have them available. There, we've added new fabrics to our we've added additional fabrics to the sale category. And then we've picked a couple of things that are all in the sale item category. We have marked manufacturers bundles down. I mean, seriously, we've done some AA creative bundles. So just take a look. We hopefully have made that, you know, quite a nice little surprise for you there. And there'll be a reminder email about the sale on Monday as well, just to let you know. All right. Did I get all the announcements? I had to catch up on a lot of things because I was gone for 3 weeks. So the tours, I wanted to, you know, some of you, I did post a little better this time on my Facebook page, my experiences in Indonesia. I am working with Isha and Anup, who live in India, Delhi, India, and they are travel experts. And they work with specifically artists who are interested in fabric and textiles and culture. I met Isha before the pandemic, had worked with her on my ill-fated trip to India, the first one before the pandemic, but we survived, we got home, and we just went to Indonesia with her. So Indonesia is very special to me. In 2012, my husband and I purchased a company called Batik Tambal, which some of you may remember, and they imported Indonesian textiles and these artist quality batik panels. So that was the start of my love affair with Indonesia. And I have to say, I was lucky. I was able to travel in Europe, but I had no idea what Indonesia was going to be like, what the people were being like, the culture, the art. And our Zoom trip in 2012, January, was absolutely fabulous. We met absolutely wonderful people. Indonesians are very customer service oriented. They always want to tell you, I can do this. It's all right. They never want to tell you no. So very, very friendly. So we designed this trip, Isha and Anup and I, to kind of mirror where we went on our very first trip to Indonesia. Now, just a little sidebar. I thought that when I bought a company that imported product from Indonesia, I was going to get to go to Indonesia. No, didn't happen. So Kyle's like, yeah, I promised Kyle when he was little he could go, and that hasn't happened either.
And I'll keep bringing it up.
Yes, you will. Keep bringing it up. So so this was my first time back in 10, 12 years. So it was wonderful. But that was how the trip was developed. So we were on the Isle of Java. So that is not the biggest island in Indonesia, but there's like 17,000 islands in Indonesia. I don't know if that counts rocks sprouting out of the ocean or whether you have to be inhabited, but I don't think so. I think that, they have a huge number of islands. And I think Java is maybe the third or fourth largest. But that was where we went. So we started in Jakarta, which is a city, just like every other city, lots and lots of people. We were able to go to a wholesale market. We went to a wonderful textile museum where I was able to post some really close pictures about some patterns and things. And so we were there for maybe 2 days. I arrived 2 days in advance to get over jet lag, and then we had 2 days there. Then we went to Yogyakarta, which is towards the center of Java Island. It is where many of my friends are. Okay, 4 friends, but I have friends there. So they were there in that area. I was really thrilled to be able to see them. I missed T-Tick and her clan up in Surabaya. I did not get to go to her, but we spent 6 days in Yogyakarta. So it was absolutely amazing. We again saw people working. They were doing, when we talk about batiks, we talk about a chop work and a hand work. We saw how these were made, both of these tools. We had craftsmen that came and did a demonstration for us on how they're made. So this is a chanting tool, this is a chop. And this work is usually done by the men who are standing and putting it in wax. So they're metal, so they go in wax. And this is a chanting tool, which is normally used by women. And that's how all our batik panels are made, is with this tool is there. We were able to attend multiple workshops where we used this tool, which I have to tell you is pretty tricky. Pretty tricky. You have to hold the artwork right at the level. You have to get the scoop of warm wax in this, and then you have to hold it up so it doesn't drip. And then, of course, it runs down. We had this little thing that covered your arm, so you watch the wax, and then you get to make your pattern. Very complicated, but the women excel in this. And it is being carried through to this day. Both of these, this is the oldest tool. This was developed in the 1880s, but this is centuries old, around the world centuries old, that this idea of hand doing work and creating a resist with the wax and then dyeing it. So I was able to find some scarves. This is all done with a chanting tool and dyes. So that is wonderful. There's a few of them here. So that's a shawl size. Sorry.
The flower.
The flower. You want to get the flower? Okay.
So will we be carrying these?
Yes, we will. Will we be carrying these? And yes, I'm sorry, I do not have them priced for you at the moment, but I was able to find a location that I'm going to be able to order from. And these actually came from Bali. So the trick is the colors, and it's multiple colors. So they sell these scarves with just 2 colors, a blue and a white or whatever. So it's very interesting when there's a couple of times where it happened where I would go in and buy something. So the woman that I bought these from were, we're learning how to do WhatsApp, and now you have a QR code for your WhatsApp. I didn't know that. And her daughter was there. So we now have a way of recurring these. But she says, okay, I said, all right, negotiating with her a little bit about, I'll get 10 of these and 5 of these, 5 shawls, 10 of those, just to see what it is. And so I have this big wall of scarves to pick from. And I'm like, this one, this one. And I had given them to her, and she looks at me and I go, yeah, 3 color. Because she's like, and then she goes, you know how to pick them? I said, yes, I do. So I know how to pick them. And these are just, these colors are just amazing. Navy blue. So, pink. So that was very fun. I was very excited. I've had these scarves before. My supplier disappeared and I was not able to get any more. So that was on my list to find when I went, and we did. So it was very successful. The other thing that was pretty funny, just made me feel good. I just got a couple good compliments. So we went to an antique mall, and it's not like you think of an antique mall here. Antique mall is, you're on a street and you have these little garages. They open up, and I did post them on my Facebook page because they had these incredible chandeliers in every one of them that came out of the Dutch houses. So when people took over the houses that were owned by the Dutch, they had all of this amazing stuff from Europe. And so they pulled all these chandeliers out. They were unbelievably gorgeous. But they also would sell wood pieces. They had this kind of thing here, so it's 3-dimensional. They had beads. But I, of course, zeroed in on the vintage sarongs. And they had stacks of them, absolutely stacks of them. I wish I could have bought them all. It just killed me to leave them. But it was like the first part of the trip. I couldn't buy everything. So when I say a vintage sarong, it's usually made with a chanting tool, not a chop, and it's all hand done. And then what they would do is wax the backside. And normally in a batiking family, you teach the next generation and they wax the back. So you have the better person who can work with the chanting tool doing the front, and then the people who are learning the task wax the back. So these are vintage here, which we do have a selection of vintage sarongs on the website, but these are all old. I was very lucky to, this one, the bird is just beautiful. So you can negotiate when you're in the antique mall. That's the one thing that, you can do that in the States. You can do that over there. And so halfway through the day, I came across this guy who just had piles of these beautiful vintage sarongs. And they would show you some, because they all want to engage because they're salesmen. They're really, really good salesmen. And they want to engage with you and ask you questions and that kind of stuff. And at that point in time, I had said, okay, I'm not going to buy any more. But I reached in this stack and I pulled out this yellow sarong with bluebirds on it. Donna, I hope you love that sarong. And out of this whole stack of things, I pull this one out, and the guy's looking at me going, how'd you do that? And I said, well, I have a vintage sarong collection at home. And he says, well, you just picked the best thing out of that whole cabinet. And I'm like, well, I know. So how much are you going to sell it to me for? So we started talking, and I started looking around and everything. And I was just really, I'm like, can't buy. And so Donna has this beautiful sarong. And the guy, when I go to leave, he comes up to me and he says, I want to give you a gift. It's like, well, I'll take a sarong. So he says, no. He says, I'm very impressed that an American appreciates our textile art and understands about sarongs. And he gave me this necklace. He says, I normally charge for this. I don't give these away free. and he gave me a necklace of some vintage beads. And his name, he told me his name, but in my head, Freddie stuck. And I'm telling you, the next time I go back to Jakarta, I'm going to Freddie's booth for sure. So that was really a quite interesting interaction and conversation that we had. And I was really happy I could remember some things that I learned over the last 10 years and be able to converse with him. So that was a lot of fun. So definitely, and really, you can wear these as sarongs, but they're beautiful fabrics. Sarongs are about 2.5 yards long. Let's just show you. 2.5 yards by about 40 inches. And this is all hand created. They started with white fabric on this. It's absolutely phenomenal. So you can get jackets out of them. You can make shirts. You can make little short summer dresses. Personally, because I don't get to sew a whole lot anymore, I hang them on the wall. I have this banister that's got all my textiles on it. And I have little hooks and Kyle's shaking his head. Yes, I have hooks on the wall so that, like towel hooks, so that I can change the textile out. And so, because to me, you need to be seeing them. Yeah, we can all hoard them or collect them. No hoarding, collecting. But to me, the beauty of it is using them all the time. That's the same with vintage textiles that are families. That's just my feeling about it. All right, so I'm like speed talking. Is there any questions? Everybody okay?
Yeah, everyone's fine.
Okay.
Christine Centrulo.
Yeah.
Said she wished she could have given you a welcome home hug.
That's
it. Grace said hello from Bangkok.
Oh, Grace is in Bangkok. She was my little agent assistant, Grace.
So she continued in
yeah.
Southeast Asia?
Yep. I know. She's going to Vietnam, Thailand, and then Japan. Yes, she's going for a while. Okay, so that was a lot of fun. Now, let me show you. We have these, and to kind of show you how this tradition and this material is continuing. There are people who are building businesses creating one-of-a-kind or unique batiks, and we have these online now. So, but if you look at this here, they're taking this traditional process, and now we're painting. We have them stapled, this whole sarong stapled to a frame, and they're painting the wax on with brushes of different sizes. They've got the wax on there, then they take the brushes and they're painting the dye on to create this. And we have these in stock. These, I did not get to visit this artist. I was in his town, Pandano, and I did not get to visit him. I'm sorry. But we do have a selection of these fantastic hand-done sarongs. They are absolutely wonderful. Again, you can wear them as a sarong. You can cut them up and use them as a jacket or any type. So one of the things that's really nice about batik when you're working with clothing is if you've got a jacket, you don't have to line it. It's really fine. Just do French seams. Aren't you surprised to know about that? So the batiks are really wonderful to work with. All right. So we saw those. One of the workshops that we went to was actually doing a little panel. So we had one workshop where we worked as a hoop with a base and we created a little pattern. Then we went to Susie in Yogyakarta and she gave us a bigger piece. And I'm sorry, I forgot mine. That was kind of a panel piece that she taught us how to do it. She crammed a 2-day class into, I think, 6 hours. That was pretty fast, but it was along this idea. It was using a chanting tool. That's what they start you out on. Everything is a chanting tool they start you with. So let's see, that was there. Bali. I was trying to think of where it's all kind of like, where did I buy things? I did mention Surabaya, right? So Surabaya did not get to. That is a city that I think has been the capital of Indonesia. And Titik and her workshop of physically handicapped adults make these bags for us. So they are part of the sale this weekend, and they are pretty wonderful with chenille, this nice zipper, pockets on the inside. We told her always to give us some pockets. So
Americans like their pockets.
we do like our pockets, although actually I get my stuff lost in my pockets. So then we went to Bali. Okay, yes, that's where I got the wovens. Yes, okay. So Bali, everybody knows about Bali. It's very romantic. It's where the surfers go. We were there in May, obviously, and it was pretty busy. That was a little disappointing. Really has become tourist destination 101. Honeymooners all over the place, people everywhere. There's a town that's called Ubud that was made famous in Eat, Pray, Love. It took 1 hour for us to get from the bottom of Ubud to the top of Ubud. So there definitely is a high season. It starts in May. Unfortunately, that was when we were there. I suggested to Isha to back it up a little bit. You're at the equator. So the weather, so to speak, temperature is the same all year round, but their seasons are wet and dry. When you see pictures of Indonesia, you see lots and lots of green, jungle forests, all that rainforest stuff. Well, that requires a wet season. And it's usually November, December, January, February. So that's kind of where their wet season is. And then they're dry. We had rain one night. I think my husband said he had rain 10 days here, but we only had rain one night over there. So that was a little bit tough to handle, was being part of that tourist influx, and the traffic was like being in New York City, except for they don't have that many lanes on the roads. They have two, one coming and one going. So it was a little tricky. I hope that they can hold on to their Balinese, Javanese background and what makes them so special there. So we did go to a weaving studio, which I did put pictures up, and they have weavers. And this is, it took me a little while to figure this out because unfortunately we didn't find anybody who spoke English there. They had a warp on the loom that was the magenta. It was a solid color. And then the ikat pattern was created by the thread that is wound onto the bobbin. So that's going to be your weft. And these pieces are, again, sarong size, but that doesn't mean you're limited to a sarong. And they have, I think these were 2 harness. So this is not a complex weave. It's all in the materials that they use. So we walked through, we saw the weaving room, we saw the dyeing room. I'm bouncing it, sorry. So we saw, and they have these little contraptions that they do to wind the bobbins. So here's this one.
I think on the Facebook page there are your photos. We've shared them on our Facebook page. So people who are watching today can go back on some of the other photos and see the different places that you've been to.
Okay. So Chris has taken care of posting the photos that I posted. I got them on my main website and my main Facebook page, and then they would make sure that was it the Master Artistic Artifacts Creative Minds or both? Yeah. So she posts them in other places for us so we could see them. So this is like sewing thread fine. This is probably a 60, so for those of us who know sewing weights, this is a thin, this is really, really thin thread that they were weaving with. And then these are ikhats that were probably woven in homes and then brought to the store. So these are a little bit heavier cotton. And if we look at the bottom where you can see the threads, you can see that this was a warp and a weft ikat. So and these are 2 harness looms, which are very, very simple looms. You get it?
Lots of homes have them.
Yes. We found it in India. There were lots, and we found it in Indonesia too. So lots of homes have them. So here's some other pieces that I bought, some other colorways here. And that was all from the weaving stop.
Where next?
Where next? I was like, ask some questions about where next. So my goal is to lead tours to all the places in Asia that I've not been. There's quite a few of them, I can assure you. So one of the things about touring with Aahilya Holidays is they give you this book. They have lots of fabulous pictures on their website. So this is what accompanied us for the Indonesian holiday. And you can see, you know, she's got details about what we're doing, kind of ideas, pictures. And the next tour is in India in November. We do have spaces available due to some cancellations. And it is Punjab. Where's she's? You can see it on our website when you go to Creative Retreats, and you can see it on her website. That gives you actually a detailed, as detailed as you can be when you're touring. Okay, there's there's no rigidity. Flexibility is the name of the game. So we are going north. Think of Colorado weather, where it's beautiful blue skies, nice weather during the day, but you're in the mountains, so we'll be at high altitude, and it will get cold in the evenings. So one of the places that we're going to go is Dharmasala, which is where the guy is, the big guy, who now I just forgot his name, Dalai Lama. Whew! Hit me in the head. They live there. That's where the Tibets came when they were chased out of China. And so we'll be there, but we'll also be in other villages that will have weavings and paintings and cultural. We do visit landmarks that are culturally important whenever we go on any of these trips. So I had an email recently, someone asking about, kind of what the mix of it is. Yes, we're there to see the culture. We are there to meet the people and the ground, the everyday person. We're there to see their textiles, which is such an amazing part of their heritage. And then you do have historic places that you're going to go see. There is, and then the tour in November, December. So it starts in November, like right around American Thanksgiving, and it's 3 weeks, because once you get there, you don't want to go for a week. And then you can always add on trips. Isha can work and Anoop will work with you. So I know one person in November is going to go to the Golden Triangle where the Taj Mahal is. And then she's going to meet us where we're going to catch up in Delhi. So you can do before, you can do after trips that make it more worthwhile if you can get the time. And that is always really awesome about them. They'll help with that. Before India, we do have the Italian Cultural Tours trip that we've been talking about. We're going in September. We do have some spaces available the retreat is a little bit smaller than what our expectations are. So I am going to be the only teacher that's going to be teaching at the trip in Italy. We had hoped to have Liz Kettle come with us, but that is not possible. And so it will just be me, which will hopefully be enough for you guys. And there are some spaces due to cancellations there. Email me. I have gotten a couple inquiries. We are having a Zoom coming up about that. Then in 2025, the trip is to India, and that is in February. And again, Sharon got the information up, and that one is to the south of India. So that's why we have to go in February, because they do not have any tourism during the heat of the India's really hot times. There's no tourism. And that's why I say, I mean, it's pretty comfortable when I've traveled in India in the time periods that we've gone. So that is going to be south. There's going to be some eco printing, some hands-on workshops. That's multiple days. We'll do a little bit of traveling, but not cover as large a territory as we've covered in the past. That is open. And then when we were in Indonesia, we did an eco printing class from a wonderful teacher in Bali. And this was, we have a great teacher, Diane Black, who teaches eco printing here, but these are Indonesian plants. And their technique was a little bit different than what Diane does, but Diane's class is on the schedule. And if you are interested at all, I highly recommend Diane. August, I think, right? Yeah. Because it's one of those things you got to do outside. And then this one is another one. So we did 2 scarves and we did some papers. And so that was fun. I actually got to do the classes on these trips this time. Let me just show you the paper. This is a watercolor paper. It's just awesome. So that was a lot of fun. All right. I'm running out of time. Okay, so one other thing I want to show you about Bali. We did go to a puppet making place where there's multiple different puppets. We went to a puppet museum that was quite interesting. It included some puppets from around the world. So that was there. Bought some awesome fans. And then in Bali, we went to a basket making location. And these are vines. They're created with vines, and they're picked green and they're woven green. And then they're set out in the sun for 10 days in the Indonesian sun, and then they still bake them. So they put them in an oven that looked kind of like a pizza oven, and they leave it in there for 5 days. So we're really kind of excited. I'm talking to them about bringing some trays in, because I design by the tray, right? So I'm talking, they should hopefully get something. And then they had some other shapes, but they're really quite beautiful. So these are quite nice. Very, very sturdy. So hopefully we'll be able to have these in the store.
It's pretty deep.
This one is, yeah. So awesome. So we do have a lot of fun on the trips. Flexibility is really necessary. Lots and lots of walking, lots of heat. In some places, Indonesia's very hot, and it's hot all the time. India, not so much. It's very, very comfortable. But it's well run. Isha and Anoop pre-check, and actually our Italy trip, Lewis pre-checks every place we go to make sure that the food is up to standard, the rooms are up to standard, that's where we're going. So they do have a lot of thought about that. And it's just awesome to see the culture and the opportunities for us to interact with other people around the world. So hopefully you'll be able to join me, or live vicariously through my pictures, which I did much better this time with pictures, and there's more to come. But I hope that you could travel with me. Is there any questions? No questions? You guys are awful silent today. So, all right. Thank you for joining us. Shop often, shop frequently, because of course I am. So please help me out here. And we'll make an announcement when we get these new products from Indonesia up on the website for you. Thank you so much. Have a creative day.